Choose the graph of the inequality. X squared plus y squared is less than or equal to 49. Well, this inequality is a circle, and because it's a circle, we can identify some identifying aspects like where's the center of the circle located? Well, in this case, it's at 0, 0, because there's no values added or subtracted from the x or the y. The radius is the square root of this constant, so the radius here is 7. All right, so just by looking at these two items, we can already rule out a couple of things. Like, for instance, we can rule out b because the center of the circle is not at the origin. We can rule out d as well. So those two we can eliminate. Then, next up, if we look at the inequality used here, it's less than or equal to. And when we have less than or equal to or greater than or equal to, this represents the concept of inclusion. So we're including the boundary points. And to include the boundary points, we graph with a solid line, or a solid curve if you want to say. All right, now, between A and B, A and C are the ones remaining. Between A and C, the only one with a solid line is A, so that rules out C. And so I think that pretty comfortably says that A is going to be our graph. But just last thing, in case anyone runs into a situation where you have to actually decide between which part you're shading, the inside or the outside, well then let's see how we could determine that. So if you pick a point that's just clearly on one side of the curve or the other, and I'm using the word side loosely here. It's really kind of like the inside and the outside for the circle here. All right, so I'm picking a point that's clearly on one side, and I'll plug that into the original equation. So 0 squared plus 0 squared, because x and y are both 0 here. We're trying to see if that becomes something less than or equal to 49. Well, 0 is less than or equal to 49, so that's a true statement. So what we do is we shade the side of the circle that contains that point. So that helps completely shore up, without a doubt, that option A is our solution.